Okay, dudes and dudettes, we have a large engagement here. A couple of my new small dreadnought hulls. I'm a little undergunned. Got three twin 11s, and his ships, his battleships all have two twin 13s. It looks like 13 sixes at that. So let's see how we fare. This could be a epic fail, or it could be a resounding victory. Time shall tell. Loading, loading, loading. And I think this is what most people really look forward to in this game, actually, is the big ship engagements. I know one of my other videos was just a basic example of some of the gameplay, but this one's going to be a little bit more of a large battle. So please, if I make mistakes, learn from them. And if I do well, then remember me kindly. I like to set my light cruisers and my heavy cruisers, if I have any, to screen my big ships. And I usually like to use my destroyers as more scouts, which I guess is kind of their role. But nonetheless, no, I don't want him to follow him now because he's going to have to run all the way over there. So I'll set him to follow him. And I will scout ahead with one of my destroyers. I like to try to keep those guys handy. And yeah, that's going to happen. The AI is still not great about where did he go? Okay, the AI is still not terribly proficient at automatically steering and stuff. Alright, we're already being fired at. Apparently his ships have much better view range than mine too, so let's slow it down real quick, check where they are. Okay. I don't know how he sees so far because he's still, well, actually no, technically he's more advanced than I am. Alright, slow it down. And I do, once again, I like to set my destroyers on save torps because, at least for the time being, it depends on what I want them to target. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and turn him off because I'm not getting in there just yet. All right. And actually, my good destroyers are getting to be a little dated even. I need to go ahead and give them an update too. There's refits, refits, and refits. It's going to be the most time-consuming aspect of this game probably is the ship building. But if you do it right, it'll make it much more enjoyable. Go ahead and pop smoke on the destroyer so that it makes it harder to hit him. As you can see, I'm definitely outnumbered, potentially even outgunned, potentially. Alright, alright. Little destroyer's doing good so far. Doing what destroyers do, and this is why you make destroyers cheaper. Because their intended purpose is to draw fire and more or less be expendable. Oh yeah, there we go. Collision avoidance. The collision avoidance system in this is a joke. Boom, some nice fiery explosions. Oof. Alright, well, so far we're picking them apart, but oh yeah, sometimes it is advisable to lower the speed on your capital ships because, well, because they get better accuracy when you do that. Goofy little thing. Uh-oh. And this guy, as a matter of fact, I think is one of my older cruisers. Yeah, he's still rocking those Mark 1 7s. Twin 7 Mark 1s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach him. And it's one of the things you're going to have to get used to in this is paying close attention to what your ships are doing. Especially your battleships. Your battleships are going to be your prime focus. So let's go ahead and get the play back on. God, this is a big engagement. And this is where things can get rather hairy. My destroyer's not going at full speed right now. I'm going to set my other ships to follow my battleships for now. And what you can do is kind of wend your way back and forth. Try to navigate though. Notice he's got destroyers trying to sneak up on my my battleships here. So I'm going to put those guys on that. And let's see if we can't sneak some torpedo damage. He's got 1,000,000 torpedo boats on here. Good grief. Smoke out. And destroyers are not reloaded on their torpedo capacity yet, or on their torpedo tubes yet. Now, I don't like to max my torpedo tubes on my destroyers because, again, it's even with standard, it's an increased chance of ammo detonation and things like that. So, but as you can see, they're still alive. They're still, for now, I might take a nasty hit from this little torpedo boat here. Who knows? Try to set. Come on. Come on. Save. Alright, go ahead and torp him. Okay, torps away, or as they say in some circles, fish in the water. Alright, Kaiser and Augusta there, we're going to get her out of there. Go ahead and retreat. She's banged up pretty bad. And did we get any torpedo hits? I don't know. Can't tell. Probably not. It's one of the more annoying things. The AI likes to spam torpedoes, so you okay, good. I almost thought I neglected one. The AI really likes to spam torpedoes, so you sort of try to use your smaller ships to screen your bigger ships, and then use your big ships for their intended purpose, to pound away at the enemy large boats. I'm going to go ahead and send this light cruiser back over there to see if I can't clean up some of those. This battle's threatening to get really spread out. And as you can see, the Kaiser in Augusta is not doing very well right now. She's sort of in trouble. Yeah, she's in deep doo-doo. Okay, wend your merry way away from the torpedoes. Alright, we got an enemy battleship closing in with our ships. Okay, and again, it's going to be really the hard part about this is keeping tabs on what is going on. Oh, and I left that torpedo, that destroyer on save. He wound up wasting them on some torpedo, but on enemy destroyers. Okay, so he's got a heavy cruiser over here, but mostly destroyers. I think my cruiser can bail him out, or bail her out. Mecklenburg, on the other hand, what are we doing here? Oh no. See, like I said, pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. Otherwise, bad things happen, especially to your battleships with all these torpedoes and whatnot running around. Alright, there's some scoring some big hits on the St. Louis. Why is he drawing to a stop? Do his battleships have torpedo tubes? No. Okay, so where is he getting off? Hitting me with torpedoes. Alright, Battleship St. Louis is going to the bottom. That's what we like to see. Oh, you know what I can do? Let me pause this real quick and see what happened. I think I took a 13 6-inch hit. Let's see here, partial pin. Let me see here. No, what? I'm curious as to what exactly hit him. I'll have to check this after. But even in the Dreadnought era, I don't like to do side guns. It's typically a bad idea. And I stick with double turrets actually as long as I can. Because, and see, the smaller guns on the battleships are really useful for dealing with all of these annoying little torpedo boats. Because these annoying little torpedo boats will run up and torpedo your larger ships. And it's really quite painful. Alright. So, that one's out of the woods. Let's check on the Rhineland though, because like I said, I'm outnumbered and outgunned. Let's slow this down. Where did my, let me see here. Okay. Oh, there he is. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to set that destroyer to run with that battleship to give him some extra cover. Okay, and this is actually a really bad idea. I've got a heavy cruiser going up against a battleship. That's probably not going to end very well. Okay, I've got 2 more torpedoes on this destroyer. Give you a nice, hold on a second, let me see here. He's not close to reloading. Okay. And right now, really, I'm just playing around with what to do and what not to do during these battles. Especially as far as recordings are concerned. Yeah, this is one of my older style heavy cruisers, and you can see I'm still pretty much working with the same cruiser design as the 1890s. Yeah, the Germans do not get very good heavy cruiser hulls. They don't get good heavy cruiser hulls at all. Now, gun reload accuracy on battleships are very important, but also you have to manage uh, certain weight aspects. And the biggest one is, of course, maximum tonnage, especially as you get into the Dreadnought era and you start building 20, 30, 40,000 ton Dreadnoughts. Okay, destroyers in position. Alright, I'm going to put him on off for now because I want to get a good broadside torpedo barrage on this guy. I'm going to go ahead and hit smoke. Okay. Okay. Come on, buddy. Come on, little buddy. Come on. There we go. Open up. Open up. There we go. Alright. Boom. Couple of nice torpedo hits. Did they? Yes, they both did damage. It's really a frustrating thing with some of your early destroyer builds is if you're not careful, you wind up with a lot. Ouch. That kind of hurt. You wind up with a lot of dud torpedoes. That can be very, very infuriating. Jesus. That cruiser just cut right through. My cruiser just cut right through his formation and he's still alive. I completely forgot about him. Yeah, don't do that. Like I said, it's kind of a lot to manage, but once you get the hang of it, it's really... There goes down another French battleship. I'm going to go ahead and retreat him. Take that destroyer with him. That destroyer, basically once your destroyers spend their torpedoes in this kind of setup, they really are quite useless. Especially with what's going on here. I mean, you can see it's a lot of battleships, so destroyers, even with good HE shells, are not going to... they're just not going to they're not going to do much damage to battleships. Come on, target. There we go. Alright, so here is a updated light cruiser anyway. This is a light cruiser 3 if you're playing as Germany. And there again, I just have a pretty good build on them actually. They've got decent armor. You know, 6 inches on the main belt, which is more than enough to counter destroyers. Try not to take any hits from battleships and stuff, though. That will not go over well. And I'm getting way... Once again, I'm neglecting my fleets, and now my other battleship is getting chewed up pretty bad. He's not that badly messed up, so what I'm going to try to do, hopefully it's not a sacrificial move, but nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and get this destroyer out of here. He's not doing any good back here. He's just basically now a floating target. Yeah, don't do that. Got an idea of, oh, there we go. And so you see what I mean about the HE shells on your secondaries for your battleships. They're just pretty much there to set enemy ships aflame. But crew training is very important. What's the range on my torpedoes? Oh god, this guy is still using... Oh my goodness, he's got ancient torpedo tech. He's got like original torpedo range and original speed. He's it's not not a very good cruiser. I guess I wouldn't be terribly miffed if I lost him, but at the same time, I'd prefer to lose less ships, or the least amount of ships as absolutely possible. Okay, so, and damage steering kind of is a pain. Geez, there I go again, forgetting about my cruisers and everything. Alright, so we've successfully screened for the other cruiser, and I think the other cruiser actually was my good one. Though it looks to be much about the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same ship. So, like I said, early game, German heavy cruisers are kind of a pain in the rear end. Now, he was flooding. You'll notice he was flooding, but because again I have a standard crew compartment on my battleship, he's actually faring pretty well. Got the flooding all fixed and repaired. Still haven't gotten the steering issue on this other one straightened out, but nonetheless, she's still afloat. And I think the French are down a couple of battleships now. They might be down a third one soon, unless he gets out of there. And oh boy, this heavy cruiser is going to find himself in trouble. 21 knots. I really ought to get him out there and chase down. Ooh, there's a nice. And see, that is what you want to be very careful of in your destroyer designs. Taking hits that make those big gouts of flame that come up out of them. That was a little tasty. Don't tell me this one cruiser is going to eliminate this entire little mini squadron. Looks like my torpedoes have either been spent or my ammo got detonated. Don't know. Don't know. But anyway. This is more or less what a really big fleet engagement will look like. And you'll notice actually in a lot of your gameplays, when your ship starts to list heavily like this, it can make aiming very difficult. Boom, partial penetration. Alright, now this is a Japanese fleet, and what they're using, and these guys, if anybody's got any pointers on how to engage these tumble home design ships, let me know, because they're might not be heavily armored, but because of the shape, they're rather difficult to get penetrating hits on. Rather difficult to get penetrating hits on. So let me see here, what's going on with this guy? Okay. Boom. And see what I mean? Those 2-inch guns, they just murder destroyers and torpedo boats. That's mainly what your light cruisers are for. It's not so much for engaging heavy cruisers. And honestly, I don't even like to use light cruisers to engage light cruisers. I like to build light cruisers to do the explicit task of screening for the big ships. And this is going to be a problem. This might not end well. Excuse me. Sailing a damaged battleship right between 2 lines of torpedo-armed ships. What's his range? 0.7. He has to get very, very close. He has to get very, very close. So, like I said, please learn from my mistakes. I get to where I don't pay attention, or you lose track of certain ships, and this can get really, really hectic. I know a lot of guys say, well, just leave the settings on, or just basically concentrate on, and that's another thing you can do, concentrate on just moving your ships and let the AI do what it's going to do in relation to targeting, which it's an option. It's a thought. It's an option. Something you can do. Oh God, there's the Mecklenburg over there, and I just sailed right into a oh good. So yeah, early tech dud torpedoes are a thing. They're a very, very real thing. And quick key commands, if you don't know, include shift right click to target torpedoes, shift alt to target main guns, and alt to target secondaries if you want to manually engage different targets. I'm not going to get out of the way of that one. I'm not going to get out of the way of the second one either. Oh boy. That hurts. Well, call this one of the one of the problems of being outnumbered on a naval engagement. Sometimes it amazes me how massive a fleet the AI can generate in a very short amount of time, and that's part of the thing that you're going to deal with playing on legendary difficulty, is just that. Being outnumbered, possibly even being outgunned. Bigger does not necessarily mean better, though. I tend to find that with ship builds, the best thing is rate of fire and accuracy balance. And now that destroyer is taking all kinds of hits because he's between the cruiser and the battleship. That's going to be a little problematic, perhaps. Did I have... Uh-oh. Somebody caught fire. Oh, there he goes. Yep. Light cruiser got too close to the casement guns on a battleship, and he proceeded to tear them apart. Boom. Look at that. That was a good line of hits. Good solid hits. Now, if you have to get into calling, you know, what ships to sacrifice and stuff like that, It's much better to save the battleships. They're the most significant investment. They are the most significant of your investments. And quite frankly, they take a long time to build. So if you're going to lose ships, best to lose destroyers. And that's why I use them to shake up enemy formations, get in close, drop torpedoes, and run. Mainly for that reason is a destroyer takes, well, the destroyers I've got currently I think take about 7 months to build, which is maybe a little long for a destroyer, but early game, you know, this is what you're dealing with. But battleships, on the other hand, these dreadnoughts, they take closer to 20 months. And if you get into having to suspend production and things like that because you have current ships to repair and any other number of things, it's just best not to lose your battleships. That's why if you're going to build battleships, especially late game, I know in another video I built basically a really basic, I built a really cheap basic type of battleship. The reason for that is because to add tonnage early game. Now as you go on through, you'll refit them, make them better, make them stronger. But for the most part, alright, so this one's kind of winding down, I think. Are we in a position where we can retreat, or do we want to keep going? Now, these are two things that you can do. If you find yourself in a really bad situation, you can take your ships and run, if you can outrun them. And that's a possibility, actually. It's a really good tactic. Sometimes you do hit and run, take out what you're going to take without taking too heavy a casualties. You can do that, but the problem is I've got a cruiser here that's sort of in trouble. So I'm going to reposition my battleship to go help him out. This other battleship, I'm going to go ahead and hit retreat. Oh boy, my destroyer is in a really bad way here. He's running right into him. Oh, maybe not. He's got this cruiser on the other side. Okay. Crank my battleship back up to full speed. Now, see, the problem is that his battleships are closing with my heavy cruiser, and my heavy cruiser's kind of been messed up. So, if I can, let's run him over this way. And what do I have on these battleships? I have nose fuse and standard AP shells, at least for now, because these guys have 11-inch guns and they're pretty much punching holes. He's got nickel steel. I've got the Harvey armor. So technologically, I'm better off. And see, that's what I mean. 11-inch shell direct hit, and he blocked it with 4.3 inches of armor. Yeah, some of the mechanics can be a little wonky. We are on 1.2.7. And actually, they've recently made some updates to the campaign. Now you can get out of military alliances and stuff, which was really annoying if you were trying to run a long campaign and you wind up allied with everybody but one opponent, and that one opponent gets ganged up on. Ouch. I think I... Oh no. Oh no. This is not good. That's definitely not good. That's going to be bad news bears. I think I might lose that cruiser because his battleships are closing in on me. That's what I get. See, once again, not paying attention. Yeah, your light cruisers, if you're out of torpedoes especially, they don't fare too well against those 13-inch behemoth guns that he's got. All right, so how do I want to do this? Anyway, yeah, I've got some either cleanup or a retreat to do. So hopefully this gives you an idea. It's, like I said, it can be pretty hectic. It can get really crazy as far as the stuff that goes on. See, I still got basically I've still got Mark 1s, and I've recently actually gotten Mark 3 on my 2-inch guns. So yeah, research is important. If I could make a recommendation on that, don't max out the focus. I used to do that. You start to fall behind technologically. Yeah, there's a few areas that you can push really far, really fast doing that. But focus one, and if you need an emergency, or rather to speed up something that you really want, you can do two. I wouldn't recommend doing any more than that. All right, so yeah, thanks for watching once again, and hopefully the mistake, and I know I made a lot of mistakes here. Hopefully the mistakes that I've made you learn from. So until next time.